GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Wednesday episode of our Daily Gun Show. And that is when we take a look at the Instagrams. We call it our 2A on IG this week. So we go live midday Wednesdays. We try to do this before Cape Gunworks goes live with their show, Rapid Fire Radio. It's a pretty awesome show. My favorite thing to listen to each week when they're talking about Second Amendment. Toby, one of the owners of the shop, Cape Gunworks in Massachusetts, hosts the show and does a great job of paying attention to what's going on just in the world. They're dealing with a bunch of anti-gun stuff right now in Massachusetts, so juggling that as well as running the shop, paying attention to other Second Amendment issues, long-term strategies and goals, and then gun questions, just being a gun person and a gun shop owner. They have quite a few just gun questions that come in from the Gambit. Speaker is going in and out. Okay, thanks. So I got the dog behind me making a big noise. He's eating. He's all mad about the pieces of kibble he can't get. Come here. Come here. Hey. Hey, come here. Quit being bad. Come over here. Come up here. All right, now I'm holding him. So, anyway, Toby does a great job on the show, juggling all the things that he's got to deal with, and manages to make it a really good show. I've been enjoying it now for over a year, so I figured I'm going to do this show once a week anyway. Why not do it before Rapid Fire Radio, so we can be sort of the opening act and send people over. So that's what we'll do. It's not on the calendar yet, so that means they just haven't set it up yet. But assuming they're doing it today, I'll keep an eye over there. If somebody sees it show up, let me know, and then I'll tag it to this, and we'll link to it. But I went live a little bit earlier today. Now I have the co-host in my lap, and he's snorting, so you may be able to hear that on the microphone. I don't know what's better, him making a bunch of noise looking for kibble behind me, or him. He's doing an angry snort right now because he doesn't like being held when he knows there's loose kibbles on the ground, and he's being held. This is torture to him. All right, you're going back down. Quit being bad. We'll see if he quits being bad or not. Anyhow, so we do this show before Cape Gunworks does the Rapid Fire Radio show. And what is this show? On Wednesdays, we go take a look at the Instagrams. So I'll start sharing the screen here so you're not looking at nothing. And you can start looking at what I'm looking at, which is the wall and this screen right here. And we have no co-host today. He's back angrily looking for kibble. I bought him a big giant cage when I first got him. And I was like, I'm giving him this giant apartment to live in. And then I found out that when you give him a big giant cage, like when you leave the house and you put him in a crate, if you give them too big of one, then they poop in there. They think they got all the place in the world, so they poop in there, and he did. So I divided the cage into a small section that he lives in, and he does much better in that little tiny section of the cage. Well, there's like 3/4 of the cage that's closed off to him. It's just a big empty waste of space. But a kibble will get in there once in a while. So that's what he's doing right now, is desperately reaching his little hands in there, trying to get to that piece of kibble. And then I guess I could just go move the thing. Hey. What are you doing? What are you even looking for? There's nothing under there. Go outside with Mel. Go outside. Get out of the house. Leave. You think that like an hour outside, he'd forget about that there's a piece of kibble that he thinks is under there? Nah. That's all he cares about now. For the rest of his life, he'll only care about that piece of kibble that he thinks is under there. Anyhow, so that's the co-host. Anyway, we look at Instagrams, and what we're going to be looking at here, let me enhance this. We go ahead and make things as large as possible on the screen for people. I went live a little bit early today, so I'd have a little bit of extra time. I don't know if I actually will or not, but I usually smash this show right up into Cape Gunworks. So let's take a look at this. It's interesting. We're looking at Crossroads of the West gun show. And then look at this. It's a picture of a heck of a lot of 9mm IVI 10. What is that all about? Let's go find out what that's all about. So probably the easiest way is to just grab a browser and just type in 9mm IVI 10. So it was made in 2010. Oh, I don't have my keys working. It was made in 2010. List of military head stamps, force on force 9mm marking round. Has anybody ever heard of IVI? Am I just dumb? But I haven't heard of IVI before. So, head stamp codes, the Cartridge Collectors Association. It's a pretty cool group of people that are interested in ammunition, and they'll have a head stamp section here. So we can scroll down and look for IVI. Oh, deceiving and activity. Nice. I'll have IVI in them. That doesn't help. Industries, Voltaclair Inc. Voltaclair, Quebec, Canada. Who would have thought Canada coming? 9mm from Canada. Metric Canada bullets. So here's a Crossroads of the West, which is, I think they're out of Arizona, but they may be out of California. Talking about a California gun show. Quit it! Talking about a California gun show win, and then using a background image of a bunch of spent rounds, dented primers. So this is brass. 9mm Canadian 9mm brass, and there's at least some here made in 03, or is that an 8? Maybe that's an 8. Some of it made in 2010. So that's interesting. It says Judge Holcomb ruled in our favor. We can now request dates for our gun shows at state-owned facilities in California. This includes the Orange County Fair and Event Center, the Ventura California Fairgrounds, and the Cow Palace. Oh wow. We have requested dates at all of our previous facilities for 2024. So the Crossroads of the West is the promoter that this post is from. They're a gun show promoter. They promote shows in California, Arizona, or Utah, Nevada, I think. And I think still Utah. Puppy, quit already. Is that kernel of kibble that valuable? He's mashing through garbage now. He's pushing things out of the way. Now he's decided to start drinking. Maybe he's forgotten about that last piece of kibble. The ghost kibble. We need to outlaw ghost kibbles, because obviously this dog can't handle it. Quit. I'm not going to feed you anymore. That will solve the problem. If you don't get fed, there won't be ghost kibbles, and then you won't be constantly looking for ghost kibbles like a horrible animal. Let me give him a spanking real quick. There. Now you happy? You got your spanking. Quit thinking about that kibble already, buddy. This is the third worst co-host we've had on the show before. It's completely distracting. Anyway, I burned up all my extra time here worrying about that dog and his kibbles over there. So we're really not here just to scroll through my Instagram. We're here to... okay, now I have to zoom out a little bit. We're here to go to my Instagram page. And we're not going to scroll through our Instagram page either. Instead, but here is our Instagram page, by the way. There's the bad co-host. I should just bring the statue out here and then get rid of that bad co-host. We'll click on saved right here. And then we're going to go to our all saved or our general saved. At least that's where we're going. But let's go back real quick. Take a quick look here, since I noticed that if we go to saved, I I do have a folder called 9mm, and there was this scientific data that was that they came up with. They made this chart, and science proves that 9mm sucks, and you can tell by this chart the proof scientifically how much 9mm is super sucky, according to scientists. So if anybody ever needs proof about the invalidity of 9mm, there you go. Okay, going back to what we're here for, what everybody showed up for, a half an hour early. So we are doing this live, although you might be listening to this in a podcast. Something like 10 to 1 people listen to this as a podcast compared to on the line on the YouTubes. But we do have people joining us today on YouTube. First off, we got Kingpin jumping in before the show. He may or may not still be out there. So hated Kingpin out there. We got M. Gabriel jumping in as well. She Fires. Good afternoon. And Mike White also out there. Ting Ting. Good afternoon. Forgot the kibble go for the bacon. He doesn't have any bacon laying around here for sure. That he wouldn't tolerate. I think he'd knock over stuff to get bacon. M. Gabriel is saying he wants to go to the Cow Palace. I would like to go to that show as well. That sounds like a pretty cool show. Actually, I'd go to all of those shows. I wouldn't mind getting to the point where I could start going to shows again. I never got to the point where I was able to get to shows in California. That's always been expensive and difficult. But I'd definitely be interested in doing it. Let's see. So we're going to be taking a look at the posts that I've seen on Instagram. And I don't go to Instagram every day. In fact, my phone data is about out. So that means I'll be going to Instagram even less, since I almost always just go to Instagram on my phone. But like a lot of people, when I'm bored or when I'm in between doing stuff or whatever, if I'm looking at my phone, I'm usually looking at Instagram. I don't go to YouTube with my phone. I don't go to YouTube when I don't have that much time. I do work on YouTube. I post stuff on YouTube on the regular, so I don't go to YouTube for relaxation. I just do stuff on YouTube all the time. So I go to Instagram for just more frivolous stuff, just to see what's happening. Back in the day when I got big, I think we're at 57,000 right now on Instagram. We used to be at like 74,000 or 78,000, I think was our biggest. We were getting close to 80. But back in those days, Instagram was all about the pictures. It was a lot about advocacy. At least the advocacy part was going strong, because this was 2017. It was a pretty growing time for the activism, and it changed. It's the system changed to mask, or kind of, people call it shadow banning, but they'd quit recommending stuff to everybody all the time. They just recommended stuff to you based on what you look at. So if you go on there and you look at motorcycles and Boston Terriers, then you can't get upset if it never shows you a golden retriever or a airplane, because it's not going to. It's trying to show you what you want. And part of it is that. Part of it is they probably hate guns and aren't too concerned about missing up gun stuff. But when they changed, a lot of people just left. They fled. Other platforms came along. Remember when, like political things happened? Trump got kicked off of here. Somebody started this. Some radio station got kicked off of YouTube or Instagram or something. And those bring people with them. Like their dedicated audiences will leave with them when giant players leave the stage. So we've seen Instagram change drastically over the years, and its usage has changed. So the people that remain are more fragmented, and they're diverse, I guess, but they're definitely less tied together, in my opinion. So part of this is to bring people together and to open people up to other channels and just some interesting stuff that's out there, and hopefully offer some interest in the other platforms. YouTube is nice. I really like it, but it's definitely not all the internet. So it's like pizza. Pizza's, I really like it, but I'm not every single day. Like, I eat pizza for a while. If I had to, if I got free pizza or something, I'd eat a lot of pizza. But in reality, I'd rather eat something else once in a while too. So same with this. My internet's going in and out. What I'll do is play a couple and I have everything closed I can close, so I can't close anything, but I can play a commercial and I can go refill my water, which I forgot to do before the show. So sorry, but you're gonna have to listen to a commercial. But did you know you can buy t-shirts?
Hey, did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items we have, shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.
I don't have the co-host here today, so I probably won't be moving the camera around as much. So hopefully that's going to eliminate the loss of sound. I think yesterday was probably because I was moving the mic around. Hold on, what happened? Well, that didn't work. So let me put this back, and then this back, and then this back, and then flip this over and show you this. This is what I've been drinking lately. Antioxidant stuff. Right, antioxidant infusion with pineapple and mangoes. I'm not usually into this kind of stuff, but this adds, it's sort of, I guess I'm not used to drinking pineapple juice. Maybe that's what it is, or the mango juice really either. But pretty interesting, subtle. I just throw a splash or two into a glass of water or a big cup of water. And so that bottle lasts forever. But it's an interesting flavor, that mango pineapple. I don't know if anybody ever drink that or if anybody's into that. And then it's got the antioxidants, just like electrolytes. Plants crave that stuff. So let's jump in. So I don't remember where to start. So we're starting with this improvised drone deployment system. So anybody that thinks future warfare will be anything like the past isn't paying attention. That's a fairly inexpensive drone with a very inexpensive modification made to it that allows it to drop a payload with the click of the remote control. Again, anybody that thinks next gen warfare will be anything like it is now is not paying attention to drones and AI. It's going to be a lot different. So Women for Gun Rights hosted a fantastic training partnership with Gun Owners America and Empowered 2A at the beginning of their fly-in. All right, so I got to remember to start calling it the fly-in. So we looked at this last week. This was 7 days ago, so it's a pretty good place to start. So we got Unapologetically Armed out there. Actually, a whole bunch of people. I can't list them all. But a lot of ladies showed up in D.C. last week listening to Chris Cox. Was that guy good? And Antonia and whoever she is. And what's his face, his son, and the other guy's dad. And New York, Connecticut, and I don't know what state she is. So, but a training day, I'm definitely interested in hearing about that. I've heard it alluded to. I don't know if anything's been out posted besides this, but definitely interested to hear how the event went. Did get to listen to Clover have Susan on last week. It was a great show. Clover did a good job of asking interesting questions, relevant questions, I thought. Then we got Brooke, another lady in the advocacy realm who was taking a picture of her puppy. Hawkeye photo shoot and a bunch of pictures of this puppy laying in the grass. I know Nola would probably like the grass. I don't know if this guy likes grass or not. But I do not like mowing grass, so that's a lot of work I'm looking at right there. A lot of work.
And this is the sound that gives you away in the tactical situation. And so he taught me a method of opening the Velcro so that if you do it right,
Oh, can't see what I'm looking at. So thank you for the feedback. Let's try putting it on the screen instead of just talking about it. So where do we start? Way back here. That was the Women for Gun Rights, and I was going through looking at the different pictures there. And then Brooks' puppy, Hawkeye, hanging out in the grass. And then we get to, luckily I was only 3
And this is
in.
the sound that gives you away in the tactical situation. And so he taught me a method of opening the Velcro so that if you do it right, no one will hear the Velcro. Okay, and it's real fast. And so the Velcro, I've got it on as best as I can get it.
Has anybody ever seen this technique before? This technique for opening noisy Velcro so that you don't hear the Velcro?
On, and this is what he taught me.
See? Didn't hear nothing.
And this is the sound that gives you away in the tactical situation.
That's a tactical dad joke in a way. I can't play the music, but these, it's a pretty interesting picture here, video. We're looking at a Walmart parking lot in the middle of the night. Some yellow or orange tabby cat, I think, walking next door to a little fuzzy curly black cat, so that it looks like it's shadow, essentially. But they are definitely individual things. Really kind of a cool, trippy video. This one is a video of another orange cat that just in front of a bunch of people in some kind of place grabbed a bird. Actually, this is a thing of a bunch of cats wailing on birds. It is dangerous to make friends with strangers. I keep getting copyrighted when I play these songs, but there's this pretty kind of rap song going in, like an aggressive rap song going in the background, and then it's video clips of all these cats jumping into herds of pigeons and wailing on a pigeon. And some cats are stalking the pigeons, and some cats are just playing up wailing on a herd of pigeons and grabbing one. But essentially, it seems to me like cats ain't in any danger of not eating. Like, cats just eat whatever bird they feel like. So this is for George out there who may or may not be watching, who is a cat that we all know. And I don't know, do we know any other cats out there? But so George could watch this video if he wanted to. He's probably thinking about this. That was a good one. Look, that's a little kitten too. That's a little baby kitten. And that thing grabbed a bird right out of the air. This is another bird or cat, but that's a full-grown cat eating a little bird. Anyway, this might be boring for some people, but I thought it was a cool little compilation of videos. It keeps going. There's a whole bunch of cats getting fed in that video. This is from Diana. Says, heartbreaking to see the devastation. This came out the day of, I believe. Praying for a quick resolution so those that are vulnerable and unarmed can be relieved. I heard from our Women for Gun Rights Maine state director that she lives in a nearby town and is armed and unafraid. There will be demands for gun control, there was a madman on the loose. Would you choose to be disarmed or armed with greater or equal force? We don't have to live like this. That's about all I want to talk about with that thing. But obviously, a lot of exploitation of the situation. And, of course, obliviousness to the fact that the media cycle acquires these events and therefore is feeding these events. Anyway, Unapologetically Armed, who's joining us today, is here with the sign saying gun-free zones kill. Don't always need a microphone to communicate your message. Gun-free zones have got to go. And that seems to be the takeaway now, what, a week plus after that atrocity of the location he chose, of course, was a quote-unquote zone. So a lot of focus on that, unfortunately, I guess we'll have to say. So the firearms policy or gun policy on Instagram says ban assault politicians, with some kind of a picture of an aim point on top of some old rail. So a really old of an AR from like the 2011 or 12 maybe.
weird picture to show. But ban assault politicians and face a terrible tragedy. The state's vile Leviathan wasted no time calling for state violence against peaceable people. They've called for everything from bans to confiscation schemes and more. Their naked depravity knows no bounds. I mean, I guess they're trying to use the words and stuff, but I don't know who they're messaging. I guess they're messaging us, the people on our side. Is it time for us to, oh man, or is it time for us to, I think there's another opportunity, another tactic here when this kind of stuff happens and we understand the reactions of the other side, calling their shots before they make them. There's a count and coup or something. It like makes us look good and we feel better about ourselves because we know what they're about to do. But how about we use that to our advantage and we address the people that are about to be addressed? Why are we shouting and yelling? This is the equivalent of my rights, my property, just in a cool way with a head knot or a hair knot and in tight jeans. Like, how about we actually talk to the other side and not just double down on our own anger? Another one from them. They are going to use every emotional manipulation trick in the book. They don't care about your logic or reason. The facts of the situation will not matter to them. They refuse to be persuaded, mock them, defy them, and tell them to stack up or fuck off. So I understand the reaction. It's like the reaction of the weak and the people that don't have any discipline and the people that have never had any successes and the people that are lazy. They all want to just shove off work and say how it's not important to do the work and the work doesn't matter. So I fucking hate this post, you fucking assholes. So it's the time when we could be working together and doing stuff, but instead they're like, they don't like us. Let's not like them. So another one from them, what's an assault weapon? Nobody knows. It's a term used by emotionally unstable liars that want you defenseless, desperate, and dependent. So in spite of their own laziness and weakness, this is a great post. Remember those anti-rights disarmament zealots want us defenseless, desperate, and dependent. This is all 100% on point. And now this actually could make a point to some liberal. Like, this is something that might get across to somebody. I don't understand. I mean, it doesn't matter. Nobody's reading this stuff except for us. They're not pushing this stuff out. They're not making this for the other side. But it's an example of, for me, it's an example of the only people we got on our side that have the potential to do something, the ones that are nimble and actually interested enough to do something. And now they're dumbing down on this fuck off fucking position, which is not going to go anywhere. It's useless. So it's really frustrating to watch one of our own grind themselves into the fucking ground when they're such a good organization otherwise. And that's an example of it. Like, this could be, that one could be so effective. So effective. Let's see. Then we got Gun Owners Radio. Probably if they had the funding of Second Amendment Foundation, I can't even imagine what Gun Owners Radio is probably the best of the organizations we've got out there today. Honestly, I really like some of the other ones because of the work they do, how persistent they are, their record over years. But Gun Owners Radio's got the most open-minded, nimble, and effective. They have the most success. I think they're doing probably the best in advocacy out there right now. I think debatably there might be the best advocates out there right now. It's cute how Democrats think all their gun laws will stop criminals. And then, I don't know what show that's from, some meme that's going around where the criminal is going to get stopped by the gun law. And I guess that shows, it's whatever, it's a meme. All right. Quit being mean to her. Can you ever be good for a whole show? All right, so this is, what is this? Oh, this is epic. Did you see what happened there? I was yelling at the dog. I can't play the music probably. Oh, there's no music. So this guy, there's a facial recognition situation, and then they got this thing over here bragging about how the whoever she is, some Karen, let's say. Let's assume it's some Chinese Karen. But he just grabs her picture and uses it for the photo recognition thing. So robots in the future and all that, but come on, man. Did shoplifting end when security cameras happened? Did thievery end when cards happen instead of keys? Key cards happen. Like, the future is scary, but there's always this kind of stuff. So I like Ed's Manifesto, this channel, for popping into reality every once in a while.
people that doom and gloom you want to make it seem like the future is going to be 100% plastic, foolproof, everything works. That's the Jetsons. That's fake ass cartoon shit. In reality, everything's broken and rusty and needs to be fixed. Idiocracy, not the Jetsons. So don't get scared of the future. Just fucking own the future. Those who adapt control the future. That's I use that as our logo or a motto for a lot of reasons. All right, so Gun Owners Radio are out of San Diego. Yep, Mike and the crew doing some of the best work and the most effective. They're on the radio. They've got, except for the fact they kill their radio show. I don't like how they kill the 2-hour long radio show and chop it up into pieces. Just chop it into pieces also. Quit killing the radio show. But that's the only problem I have with them. Most of the time they're just, they don't like every strategy they do, but they're effective. They're working. All right, so here's Thunder Ranch with a pretty good clip from
West,
the best movie
several
ever.
down in Texas have reached a hell of a lot of havoc. They open up the door down here.
It's not really applicable to whatever's going on, so whatever. You got to give Clint whatever, or whoever's posting this. But honestly, it's not the best scene in the movie or nothing.
So this is the Black Hornet 4, our new highly advanced nano. You launch it in less than 20 seconds. It's nearly inaudible. Has a 640 by 512 thermal camera, a 12 megapixel sensor that's really good in low light, and a total of 5 cameras. It flies for more than 30 minutes, and you can order it now.
So he's holding something that looks like a
highly advanced nano. You launch it in less than 20 seconds.
It looks like a, what is that thing? It would be like the size of a fat cigar, and it's floating. It's like a helicopter. It's got a helicopter prop on top and a little one in the back. So it's like a helicopter, but it's robot controlled, so nobody needs to control it anymore. When you let go of it, it'll hover. It'll go where you tell it. But like he said, the specs there, it's a thermal camera, so you're not hiding from that, and can fly for 30 minutes. They're now showing them to us at trade shows, and they're $6,800, $7,000. So you can buy them if you want, but just an example of what you could buy today on the shelf, right? So what does that mean? What's available? How long has this thing been around? And then what's available today that's not on the shelf? Just keep in mind, what you're seeing on the shelf is not what exists. And we just looked at something that's the size of a fat cigar that can float essentially, what am I trying to say, without any sound, silently, and then essentially go anywhere. So these have been used for quite a while. Anyway, let's keep moving. Let's see. This is an announcement for. I guess this already happened. So, but this was an announcement for the 22nd biannual machine gun shoot. So does biannual mean twice a year or every other year? I don't remember. I guess I can find out. I'll ask the internet. Biannual is a combination. All right, come on. Occurring twice each year. Or, hold on. Okay, occurring twice each year is semi-annual. Occurring every 2 years is biennial. Occurring twice a year, half yearly, is semi-annual. What? The meaning of biannual is occurring twice a year. Okay. So this is a twice a year thing for 22? Oh, so that means 11 years. I was thinking this meant 44 shoots, but I guess that's the other way around. It means 11 shoots, but still. They've been doing this since 2014. And this is the Prince Law Company. They are lawyers in Pennsylvania. The Firearms Industry Consulting Group. And there, hey, leave each other alone. We got Susan, Gun Free Zones Got to Go. This is the sign from this year.
This is, I guess, when you're going to do Clover's show. You're about to do an interview and you realize you haven't finished redecorating your living room. Nothing on your walls. I guess some people set up like a corner or something as their interview corner. Do I have this on one of the intros? I believe that I do. So this is maybe the second or third best movie ever made. I thought I did have it somewhere. That. All right, I don't have it anymore. But we used to use that as the intro to the show. It's epic. I used to have it in my favorites. Do I still have it in my favorites? How am I going to find this? Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe we do. Oh, come on. I got to wait for commercials. This is messed up. DJ's dropping links out there. Thank you. All right, and finally, this I don't mind get copyrighted for because it's awesome. Epic movie. Gotta check it out. It's about the SAS and their epic raid on the embassy. And tons of Mac 10s in it. Freaking great. Epic movie. Really, really, really good. Then we got Beth Alcazar and had been an AI cartoon made of her. It's pretty easy to do. You just take a picture of yourself and shove it into an AI and then tell it, I want it to look like this or that. And it does it. Rebecca, let's see. When you are confronted with the truth that evil exists and your response is demanding to disarm the innocent and vulnerable, you have become part of the evil. So it's pretty accurate. Again, I think this is a new version of My Rights, My Property. We understand it, but the other side is just going to be offended if they even listen to this, right? But, I think it's worth saying, I guess, once in a while, even though it's maybe not going to reach nothing on the other side. Still haven't seen anything from Cape Gunworks. Trying to keep an eye on that. This is from Colorado School of the Trades. We have something like 9 gunsmithing schools. Colorado School of the Trades is one of the oldest ones, and they're up in Denver area, if I remember right. And this is I follow most of the gunsmithing schools. This is posts where they had the people from Cerakote come out to offer instruction. So that's got to be pretty cool, getting the people that actually make the product to come out and teach the class. So also a way to just put a plug out there for our gunsmithing schools. It's another post from Women for Gun Rights. This one was a couple of days after the bullshit, once people had had a time to deal with it and they got an idea of the scope and the tactics the other side was using, so we can get an idea of their approach. So the description says, Women for Gun Rights, mourn with Maine, but it is way past time to stop offering empty solutions. But it is way past time to stop offering empty solutions. Here's what we propose. Eliminate gun-free zones. Get serious about prosecuting and removing dangerous people from society. Arm yourself and train to be your own first responder. Oh, man. And then over here it says, mourn with Maine and stop demanding empty solutions. I guess that's what that says. Then it says, we are heartbroken and angry about the loss of life in Maine. We are thankful our members were armed and unafraid with a killer on the loose.
The main incidents occurred in gun-free zones. 94% of mass killings occur in gun-free zones. Gun-free zones are dangerous. What do we do? Remove dangerous, threatening people from society. Be prepared to protect what you love. Guns save an estimated 2 million times, save lives an estimated 2 million times annually. More laws will not make you safer. All right, well, so they're using different marketing, but it's my rights, my property. We'll see if this hits a little bit different this time. Nothing in here about, the mental health side of it. Getting people off the streets, man, that's not even a solution, is it? Do we want the state to start deciding who's messed up and collecting them? That's not a solution I'm interested in. I don't want the state involved in any of my solutions, honestly, but I certainly don't want them deciding who's sane and not, and what to do about people that are sane or not. I don't want Joe Biden while he's eating his ice cream cone to make that decision. I don't want Trump while he's bashing bump stocks to think about either. I don't want them even thinking about any of that. It's not their concern. It's not their realm. Anyway, getting off on everything. We got Warrior Dog Foundation visiting the Military Working Dog Team's National Monument, Service and Sacrifice since World War II. Well, one, I didn't even know this is a thing, and two, what the hell? So please remember, you are the voice and angels behind every working dog we are able to save and rehabilitate. Your support is crucial to honor those canines. So for people that don't know, Warrior Dog Foundation is responsible for taking a bunch of dogs that are working dogs that have been, dogs that are enlisted in our armed services, mostly special operations dogs, and then either giving them forever homes at the place or finding them people. And often the people they put them with, it's a therapeutic situation for both the critter and the person. So great work they're doing. And this Military Working Dog Team's National Monument, I never even knew of was a thing. So now I got to go find out where it is and go to it. Because one, look all the Dobermans they got there. They got the other dogs too, but they got a Doberman in there. So that means they go back to World War II, where Dobermans pretty much helped end World War II by being awesome. All right, so then we get Combat Story, a little behind the scenes from the new in-person Combat Story studio. We're so excited to host more amazing veteran stories face-to-face. So they've taken the step at Combat Story. Remember, he's the guy who's he was an Apache pilot, an Apache helicopter pilot for a number of years, and then went into the CIA and was an agent for a number of years, and then now is doing this podcast. And he'd been doing it remotely exclusively. He did a couple of in-person or like together, on scene type of things, but mostly he was doing it from his place and then people remotely from their place. So now he's taken the step or the leap to create in like a studio. And I don't know where he's at. I think he's in like the Virginia area, DC area maybe. So bringing people in to have stuff at a studio. It's going to be pretty neat. And it is kind of neat just thinking about, he's got some of the cool stuff that people have in their rooms. Now it'll be a little more like right there. They can touch it, point at it, and that kind of stuff. Kind of cool. Anyway, Combat Story is a great one that comes out every Saturday morning. Definitely worth listening to each week. Lots and lots of stuff to glean from those besides the actual stories that they offer. So the Virginia Citizens Defense League, one of the oldest, one of the best, definitely one of the top state level organizations that we've got, if not one of the best advocacy organizations that we've got. They've been doing it for a long time. They do it well as a committee, as a group, like as an organization, through all the stuff that just humans have to deal with, through all the stuff that the government and that kind of stuff has had to deal with, through everything. They've stayed a viable, active, useful organization. They get attacked. Virginia's been wailed on, and they have successfully repelled the attacks and made Virginia like a leave me alone state again. Hey, you two leave each other alone. They're being bad. Both of them are being bad now. They're together trying to be bad. She's going to come in here, and you are not going to play with her. Come in here. Be quiet together. Sit down and be quiet together. They're not going to be quiet together. So this is VCDL
Concerned about, let's see, I'm concerned about the disappearing grassroots in VCDL. Our strength comes from gun owners like you working together through VCDL. We bring about change. When you're not engaged, VCDL loses its essence. I'm deeply worried about the upcoming election and the fate of our rights, especially gun rights. Here's what I have observed. Gun shows lacking volunteers at the tables, community events without VCDL representation, poor attendance at meetings, unread alert emails, unopened alert emails, unsent emails to legislators on crucial gun issues. So these are things that they can, they're aware of and they can monitor. When you get sent an email, if you look at it, if you open it, if you click on stuff, the email tells them. The other side of the email knows that. You know that, right? Like when you get a newsletter, anything you interact with that newsletter is recorded and reported to the person who sent it to you. So if you never even open it, they know that. I mean, they know you didn't open it. They don't just know like a person didn't open it. Yeah, they'll get that report. Like 50% of the people didn't open it. But if they look, they'll know you didn't open it. So when you get a newsletter, you are part of a back and forth, intimate interaction with whoever you got that newsletter from. When you open a newsletter and click on 2 or 3 things, they know the 2 or 3 things. Some newsletters know how long you farted around looking at the things. Like they know a lot about what's going on if they feel like it. Just FYI, if you didn't know that. So they're aware of what people are signing up for and what people are following through on. Many gun owners believe their votes don't matter, which baffles me. Voting is a powerful tool, hard-earned by our nation's founders. Another disheartening mindset is, I won't attend lobby day if I can't carry. This mentality plays into the hands of those who imposed carry restrictions. If gun owners shun the General Assembly, how can we repeal bad laws? Too many gun owners express concern for their rights but remain inactive and absent from events. Out of 58,000 who received the alerts, only 4,000 are active, leaving 54,000 idle. Then there are 700,000, I guess that means concealed handgun permit holders, who are indifferent. This greatly worries me. A flawed election, like in 2019, could lead to disastrous outcomes. We couldn't afford to sleep through this critical time. Our free future depends on us. To restore your gun rights, please read and reshare the alerts, email legislators as needed, volunteer at gun shows and events, recruit more members, attend lobby day. Above all, vote. We can't allow a repeat of 2020. Let's act to protect our future. So we're going to start seeing more of these appeals, and this one's rational, I suppose. They've got a list here, but they're concerned about a number of things because, again, this organization has been around. They've been through it. I'm sure they can feel in their bones when we're about to, have a storm coming. And I think this is a cautionary post. It's worth paying attention to. I'm going to take a look over at the YouTubes and see if Cape Gunworks has posted anything. My internet working? Yeah, we're still good, right? Next up is Wilderness Tactical. My internet's taken forever to reload that page, though. This is a cool company here in Arizona. Been a fan of theirs for a long, long time. And am I wearing their belt right now? No. But oftentimes I'm wearing their belt. And oh man, I got hiccups. Then this is their new shirt. This is a shirt design called the Prickly Natives in a Sonoran shirt. I don't know what that means. I guess the style of the shirt. I'm trying to see if Cape Gunworks has posted anything, and I don't think they have yet. So we'll keep an eye over there still. But it's a pretty neat color. It's sort of like, it's not quite tie-dye. It's some kind of silk wash. I don't know what they call that when you just kind of, it's like a marbly looking background of yellows and greens and browns, but essentially like a really muted tie-dye type of thing, and then like a print of dark green print of a bunch of different agave and saguaro and just the regular cactuses. What am I trying to say? I can't think of the name of the normal cactus. Anyway, the regular old cactuses. So, pretty neat. And plug for the cool company up in Phoenix. This is some jerk who's always buying cool stuff on
on Instagram, but I like to follow some channels that are collectors. So this is a bunch of this is a bunch of Russians. That's a Russian flag back there. These are Russian 6H5s. So these are the modern Russian bayonet. These are plum on the top, which I've got plummier ones. Anyway, at least I have a hanger for one. Saying I haven't ponied up for a 6H9 yet, which I don't know what that is. Probably some newer one. But it does have the hanger for one. I'm guessing that's what that is. Only one of my plums has some flecks. Lighting doesn't do the color any justice. Yeah, a really plummy one will look plummy like no matter what. The medium plummies, they have to, like a plum color, you have to have light shining at them. Sunlight works great, but you have to have light shining at them at just the right angle. So some of the differences between Russians are the shape of the triangle, and that's going to depend on like where they came from, I guess. And then, of course, mold numbers and model numbers. All that's in paint up here. And then I think there was something going on. Oh, there's something going on with the ends of these, like whatever you call these lines. These are rounded and these are more pointy. So that mold changed a little bit over time. And oh man, there was something going on with the rivet on the other side too, I believe. Looks like they have some variation in the sculpt that goes around the button. See how it's like 3/4 up here, and here it's full, and down here it's only like 1/4. That's the kind of goofy stuff we look at as collectors, to tell the difference between variations and versions and what. Not sure what this is supposed to look at other than some of the lack of markings. Some of the other bayonets have markings in these areas. But I only have maybe 4 of this style. Maybe. No, I don't even know if I have that many. I might only have 2 of these kinds. These look exactly like Bulgarian, so my brain's having to remember a long time ago. But I only ever had 2 of these, I think. These were super hard to get. So this indicates, like, this is an example of a very expensive and very, like, hardcore collection. Like, I'm really I'm curious to see what their full collection looks like. I'm hoping to sell them some of mine, too, if I get my shit together. This is from Cody Firearms Experience, the best place to go in Cody, Wyoming. Definitely not the other thing that uses that name, but the Cody Firearms Experience is not the lame museum in that town. It is, in fact, a gun shop in that town that has a little bit of a museum in it, and it's actually a better museum than the big museum. But the Cody Firearms Experience is a gun shop that's on the road to Yellowstone. Yellowstone only has like a couple of entrances. The east entrance gets something like millions and millions, I forget how many, but millions of visitors each year. A lot of those visitors are international. A lot of the countries out there never have put anything like a national park system together, so they lost a lot of their resources. Well, a lot of them lost their resources back in the kings and queens days when nobody cared about nothing and everybody just chopped down all the forests. So they don't have Yellowstones in Europe because of the way humans wailed on Europe, right? They destroyed Europe and most of that all those continents over there that people have lived on for so long. So what we had over here in the new world, right, is forests of old growth. So Yellowstone isn't old growth, I don't think anymore, but it is. It has some, and the experience is something that it's a wonder of the world. In other words, people are coming to our national forests and our parks because they don't have those. And of course, we have a different environment, and it's the United States, and it's Buffalo, and the whole westward expansion that was dramatized by Buffalo Bill back in the old days. So tons of countries have an appreciation for our West and our westward expansion based on buffaloes and based on Buffalo Bill Cody, right? Yellowstone comes out of Cody, Wyoming. So tons of people are going there, and they're going there to experience. They're going there to see, to experience. They got all the way to the United States. They could go to that shitty, horrible museum that's let down. Hopefully they don't. And then they go to the gates, right? To the main gates of the park. And one of the last things they're going to experience, literally one of the first things they experience coming out of the park is the Cody Firearms Experience. And it's this giant billboard, a giant sign out front and it's a pretty big building. They got a coffee shop next door that's pretty good, and or like a breakfast place actually. But it's a gun shop. It's a shooting gallery. Like they have a bunch of interactive targets you can shoot at with light, I believe, using all kinds of old cowboy guns. They've got rentals, and then it's a standard range for training and just going recreational shooting. And then there's a classroom, and they do all kinds of events and stuff. So anybody who's in Cody for any length of time has the opportunity to show up for one of their events. They're a cool shop. They have a lot of interesting guns for sale, even though it's mostly a rental range. And yeah, it's a great way to normalize guns for the entire world, literally. So much stark difference from the shitty museum in that state, in that town also, which does nothing to help anything. So anyway, I really like the Cody Firearms experience, and they have this post that says NRA instructor courses available, which I really like also, because it's cool right now to hate the NRA and to shit on it and act like the NRA doesn't do nothing, and to just not appreciate the infrastructure of NRA training, because there's other people that want to sell you their training who are always going to talk shit about it. So I dig that Cody Firearms Experience has NRA instructor courses. So not just NRA gun training, but how to be an NRA instructor in Wyoming. That's freaking awesome. Not everybody agrees with my opinions on stuff, so there you go. Thanks for my Patreons who let me actually have opinions on stuff. I don't have to be beholden to anybody or anybody's opinion of my opinions. I can be honest with my experience and way I see it. I've only driven around and been everywhere, and not everywhere, but I've been to a lot of places and seen 33 of the museums and seen a bunch of the people do stuff over the years, over the decades now. And I can authentically appreciate the stuff that is of value. Okay, speaking of stuff that's of value, we got Voss, who does the shows on Saturday evenings, the Overnight, which is a show dedicated to folks who are up in the middle of the night, people on the night shift who actually do appreciate a live conversation once in a while, and Voss offers that. And then on Wednesdays does the Mouse Party, which was shifted due to some situations he could not change. So now the mouse Party is every other week, and the Overnight is every other week. So it looks like there'll be a Mouse Party again this week. And one of the things that Voss has been having fun with is coming up with these stickers. So he had another design come out. I think this one's pretty awesome. I'm a little concerned about the scale of Dino, so I'm wondering if anyone there has the same concern about the scale now. Shouldn't Dino be about the size in reality? But other than digging it. We got Woods, who may or may not. Is Woods out here right now? No, he's probably too early for Woods. But that's what it looks like when he's got his pile of puppies on top of him. Of course, I said nobody needs that much cute. Yancey, I don't know if anybody out here knows Yancey, probably not. But one of my friends from the olden days, and this is some behind the scenes of what Big Sandy is like. Big Sandy is a chunk of northern Arizona, or middle of Arizona, kind of between Phoenix and Las Vegas. So it's just this chunk of in the middle of the desert that kind of hard to get to. And twice a year, they invite a bunch of people, and you can kind of tell from here, they're on a ridge. And this tank is at the far west ridge. It's a quarter of shade line. This is of what you would get the shooting line to shoot into. And every, 25 feet or so is another. So I don't know, it takes hundreds and hundreds to fill up a quarter mile of shooting line. Those people all up and they camp out, and then tons of spectators show up. Spectators show up and watch. So a bunch of friends out and have fun, recreationally shooting machine guns in the deserts of Arizona, and they invite any spectators who want to check it out. H kids show up. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinners out of a big kitchen that they make a bunch of money for H every year. it's kind of like a mini show. Each year is a little bit, some years a lot bigger than others. And, the number of people that show up to participate, the number of people that show up to spectate fluctuates. What are you doing? Can you just sit down? This dog needs another spanking. So it's awesome. And I don't get up there anywhere near as much as I used to. This dog, the fluffy dog, she hates noise. So she can't even handle noises at all. She's getting a little better, but I quit going when she showed up because it would have been mean to her to make her. I brought her up there once and she didn't dig it. She didn't hate it, but she didn't dig it. So since it was just her and me for a while, I didn't want to drag her up to a noisy thing and then abandon her while a bunch of noises happened and then come back, wake her up. And it just seemed mean. And now with the little dude, I don't know what to do. So maybe I'll go back up there again. But it's cool to see. There's a couple other friends, I didn't put them in here, that go up and post pictures, so I get to kind of see who all is up there that I know and what they've been doing, what kind of guns they brought up, and that kind of thing. Most of the people I know that go have let's just say a lot of guns. So there's no way they bring all their guns. They bring some guns each year, and that'll usually depend on something like maybe their kid's with them and their kid likes this thing, or somebody else's something or other reason. Maybe it's an anniversary of something. So they bring this or whatever. So it's sometimes neat to see what people brought. Back to Ed's manifesto. Know that if you are choosing to travel unpaved roads, you are likely to get lost along the way. This is not a sign of failure, but exploration. Finding your own way requires missteps, redirections, and facing the great unknown. I don't know who Amber Lyon is, but I think that's a good message, especially for our Tuesday show for content creators. You can do what somebody else did. You're just going to suck and be a repeater. You're just going to be a copycat, or do what you're going to do. And when you do what you're going to do, it ain't every step is a stairway to success. You're going to make missteps. You're going to break an ankle once in a while. But you're going to learn more as you break that ankle and heal. You're going to learn more about what you should and shouldn't do, what you can and can't do, that kind of thing, than you'll ever get following some other jerk's recipe. All right, I see that Cape Gunworks is now scheduled, so I'm going to take a second. I'm going to just unzip this show real quick. No big deal. I'm just going to open this show up and look inside of its own belly. Other channels don't like to do this, but I don't care. I'll do it all the time. Why isn't this opening? So this is what it looks like when you take a video and look at its own insides. And we're going to go to the customization tab, and we're going to go to Cape Gunworks, which is right here. And we're going to take this URL, and we're going to go to that customization tab when it eventually opens. This is how slow my computer internet is. Come on. Now I have to click on customization again. Come on, YouTube. And then I go down here, and I had set it to one of our shows. Now I'm going to change it to Cape Gunworks Rapid Fire Radio Show, which starts in a little bit. So now this show will be redirected to that show. And now I have to click 2 buttons to get back to the show. Thanks for making it 1 button to click away, but 2 buttons to click back. So it looks like we got 14 minutes before that show starts. Ooh, I don't need me talking to myself here. So it looks like we got 14 minutes before that show starts. Come on. There we go. So getting this one, I think that was a pretty good quote. If you're making progress. You're gaining experience. I'd rather talk to 100 people that hadn't gone far with experience than listening to one loser who's successful. Somebody who accidentally got successful. Can I play this? Copyright me. It's going to copyright. Have you ever received mental health services? So the Talk America did a survey. They asked a bunch of people to participate in a survey. So I offer these number people and it's insight. So it says this is of the 307 people. So we have a community of how many gunners and how many people the big fans I don't know, 8 people, whatever. We had 61 people participate in our only organization at a national level that focuses on mental health awareness. We had 361 responses. So is that success? I mean, compared to zero and compared to no organization? Yes. The organization is 7 years old. 7 years old, 361 responses. We're spinning our wheels. Well, I mean, 17 years from now, are we going to accept 1,000 responses as progress? Anyway, have you ever received mental health services? 361 responses. Look at that. 72% said no. And then a bunch of other answers. These may or may not be useful for you, depending on what you're doing. Have you received mental health services, or would you receive them in the future? What is your interest? Individuals, couple, or something else? And it was all individual. What is your perception of mental health professionals in general? Very negative or very positive? And guess what? Everybody's in the middle. Took a screening, and the results suggested you consider how likely would you be to seek out a professional. Some people said yes, some people said no. Everybody was in the middle. Have an extreme risk protection order made you hesitant to speak out? And I don't know what the answers were to that one. Anyway, so if you want to get more without having to watch a quick 1-minute video, then I imagine you could probably go to some link on here. It might even be walkthetalkamerica.org/survey, WTTA.org/survey. Or not, because only 360 people even participated. I bet you less than 361 will even look at the results. But they're there, so we got that going for us. So this is another one from Ed's Manifesto, one of my favorite channels it's turning out to be. And this is a dog standing on top of 2 ox, because dogs in Mexico stand on top of ox because they don't care. The ox don't care and the dog don't care. So that's what's happening. This is another one from Foss. He's putting out these, or he had put out these paper tubes. I don't know what he used for lights, but I think that's pretty clever. I was thinking glow sticks in there. You know, use like a shadow thing for glow sticks, and you could put those almost anywhere, and that would creep somebody out if they've seen a set of glowing eyes. So this is from Jera in Texas. This is Stupid Ass Jeopardy, the show for dumbasses. So I'll put the audio back. Come on, man. So now we'll listen to Jeopardy.
Weapons X-Ray 800. Bolt action. AR, also called modern sporting. Scott, what is an assault rifle? Yes. Weapons X-Ray 1000.
What does that even mean? Like, that is such bullshit. That's like just word vomit. What? That is not even anything. Like, come on. And that's supposed to be Jeopardy? Like, oh, we know we're such nerds or whatever. Like, no, you're a bunch of idiots. All right, so Rebecca, 11 p.m., can't get comfortable. 2 a.m., can't get comfortable. 4 a.m., can't get comfortable. Alarm goes off. I've never been more comfortable in my entire life. So I get what she's saying there. But my problem is a little dog. This little, he just sits here being bad. If I got something to do, he turns into a little warm burrito that needs to be held. He's just a little warm burrito. There it goes off. Let's see. Wildcats are shooting here in University of in Tucson. So does local university have a shooting team? Maybe they should. So the Wildcats, because the team is called the Wildcats, so they call the shooting team the Wildcats. I guess they had a Saturday night social. Team gets together for extracurricular activities, and then they're complaining about getting shadow banned. But whatever. So they had a massive bonfire, which is super scary in Arizona. Like, what the fuck? But whatever. I guess they're in college, and there's a propane tank sitting there. Come on, man. So then they're using nods, all right? Sitting around a bonfire, playing guitar because they're in college. That's what you're supposed to do, I guess. And then they're complaining about being shadow banned. So I'll have them on. Now that I'm getting the interview thing going, I'll have them on and chat with them a little bit more, hopefully. I should show the picture of this dog. This is Allen Anchor. Have you ever heard of them? They make patches, stickers, decals. They can make your table runners if you're doing some kind of a gun show or something like that. They've got 2 little puppies, and those puppies dressed up as Batman and Robin, I guess. And then they went out trick or treating. Oh, I guess that was also telling. Oops, that's copyrighting me. I guess that's also letting you know that they've got a patch bundle going for Halloween. They do quite a few Halloween Halloween themed. Would you put it? They do quite a few Halloween themed patches over there. So this is from Paralympic shooting sports, and if anybody says, "Oh, I can't because some problem that they're coming up with," shut up. Watch this girl shoot archery. I could play the audio, but I can't because of the copywriting. So essentially, she's got no arms at all, and she's using her foot, her leg, and her foot like an arm. Got the bow held by her toe and her foot, and then reaches up, has a stop on her release on her shoulder, and used her mouth to set the release with the bow or with the arrow, and shot like a pro. Oh, and then she won gold medal in women's individual compound open. But maybe it's difficult to participate in guns-free stuff, or gun stuff in the United States because it's so difficult. It takes time away from TV show or whatever. Got to get a latte or whatever people's excuses are. Let's see. So we got Goal, Massachusetts, ripping off our friend Unapologetically Armed with the gun-free zone. This sign does not keep you or your customer safe. It just means all of you are defenseless. Fight H139. So Goal is obviously dealing with the H139, the horrible list of anti-gun stuff that's happening in Massachusetts. But of course, Maine happens. So everybody's got to switch our narrative to gun-free zones and that. So, like I say, unfortunately, that plays into a project that Susan's been doing for a while, which has validity, but it sucks to wait for an atrocity in order to get traction on something. There's other ways for it to happen. This sucks. So here's Reverend Clint Blanche. I'm no longer interested in awakening the masses. They're clear. They're not interested. I'm here to connect with like-minded individuals and assist those who want to. I mean, it's bad to have whatever opinion. He's one of the people that got me efficacy in the first place. 100% disheartening to see have this, especially in action. So, I'm not pulling any punches. Again, thanks to my Patreons, I can say what I want, but I'm allowed to be disappointed in one of my people I look up to. I'm disappointed in this post. Gun Owners Radio. How many times do we have to see a crowd of people? Hold on. How many times do we have to see a crowd of defenseless people die before we realize being defenseless isn't the answer? Good sentiment, horrible image. This is super hard to read, but it's a great point. And then it says lunacy is described as doing the same thing and expecting different. So I like that. Instead of insane, I like that. I like what the thing is, but I don't know how it's written. It's written on, in white, on yellow, with a super outline in black. So it's just a stark thing. It's very hard to read that many words. For me, maybe it's easy for other. Ed's manifesto again. It's the old fork one: regular fork, tactical fork, assault fork, and then fork after fork control legislation. And out of all the crap that we've seen here, Ed's manifesto, a dude who was a police officer in Mexico, a federal police officer in Mexico, retired and now travels the U.S. Instructing and offering insight and just being a general insightful person. This is by far the best post out there. The only thing better could have been the spork should have been blue. It should have been blue. That's rapid fire radio starting up. So the spork should have been a contrasting color to the background, but otherwise, probably the perfect post for the entire week. Hold on, let me go over to the rapid fire radio and just put in second thumb up. Thank you for hosting each week. at Cape Gunworks, and then let the robot fix all my spellings. You could spell right and be slow, or you could spell wrong and just let the robot fix everything later. All right, put that there, and then I forgot to put them over on our other place. So now we're gonna, okay, you got to click on this, and then you can right click on this. Zap over to our channel. A lot of people won't do this in front of everybody. I don't care. I'll do it in front of people. Hopefully you figure out to do this and you do this more often, because it's this easy. You find the thing you want to promote. And you know what? I could also just do it this way. Create a post and then say at Cape. See that? How fast that came up? Cape Gunworks is live. Right? Shift enter. Check it out. And then enter. But I was also going to go over to my channel and just go to the community tab and essentially do the same thing. But it was taking forever. All right, so that's us letting the people know about Cape Gunworks. Go check that out. And they're ready, but they're not doing anything yet. So we got a minute. We'll keep finishing here. So again, as manifesto, probably the best post all week to get the point across without being my rights, my property. More like your position is stupid. Your position doesn't make any sense. Here's your position in a different way. But when we keep going, so Battle Bunny 3M or Battle Bunny 3 Gun, and this is an interview where this girl came out and shot her first match with him, and talked about how great it was. It must be awesome to actually have something that's focused on people's situation rather than person always having to deal with, people who aren't paying attention to any situation at all. Let's see. An authentic path. This is, again, Ed's manifesto. An authentic path may take longer, but the moves and impact are forever legendary. So, essentially, we need authenticity in our community. Back to the Wilderness Tactical, our friends up in Phoenix, that Sonoran Natives print. So if you're supporting an awesome company here in Arizona, I just noticed that the pocket is in the shape of Arizona. Gets a puppy clap. That's freaking cool. So anyway, go check. Throw a link to their Instagrams if you want to go check Instagrams and buy some of them. Good company, just telling you. Just saying. They're not paying us or nothing. Boom. And then keep going. Ever heard of Tony Simon? Every couple of weeks, he'll do a shoot. That's where he brings a bunch of different people. I can't play this because he'll copyright me. But he brings a bunch of different people together to get an orientation, a familiarization with firearms. And if they're interested, pull in some triggers and gives people some experience with gun owners, right? Range and being around guns and what guns are and what they're not. And then they sit around eating pizza, debrief, right? Enjoy that high that comes from something new, something that you're exploring, that you are intimidated perhaps by. And then he opens it up to anybody it's open to anybody. So what happens is the dynamic of it is that those people who explore for the first time often then show up again and bring friends. So it's an on-ramp to gun ownership. It's epic. Tony's been doing this since 2015. He does it without any national level support of any kind that I'm aware of. Occasionally people act like they're going to help him out, and then sometimes they kind of help him out, but hardly anybody's ever really helped him out to any extent. So tremendous effort. And it's probably because he's a Marine. They just do stuff. Let's see. Then you got Riding Shotgun with Charlie, talking with Penn Patriot. I guess Gun Owners Radio has a store, and you can buy stuff using their Penn Patriot thing and save 15%. Or since it's Gun Owners Radio, you could just buy their shit and help them, give them money. Save money when you buy stuff off of Amazon. Pay full price when you're buying stuff off of a national level gun owners' rights organization. This is Sasquatch Gear. This is a place in Texas that makes their gear in like New Hampshire or someplace. And this is showing Bangladesh, where most of our shirts are made, shirts and that kind of thing, and the horrible third world conditions that the fashion has created. So people that want to bitch about the environment or want to bitch about fuel, want to bitch about guns, want to bitch about anything that's an epidemic, check out if they're wearing new clothes or if they're wearing clothes that are vintage / reused. Because if they're wearing anything new, they're the problem. They're part of the problem. Ask them if they wash their clothes in a dishwasher or in a wash machine, or if they wash it by hand. And people don't want to face those realities. Anyway, it's cool for Squatch Survival Gear to talk about that. It's actually a good channel to watch. They also do a lot of stuff about leaving animals alone. Another one from Ed's Manifesto: deal with things as they come, not as you fear. That's a tough one. People like to fear, and there's people out there that get paid well to make you scared. So fear is a bunch of crap. I think this is copyrightable too. Yeah. So Walk Talk America, desperately trying to normalize the intersection of mental health and the firearms industry, and they get the support they get. 13 people supported that particular post. Cape Gunworks is live right now. We are quirking him, and that's the t-shirt they got going. Tyranny is back. So I don't know, it's an all right shirt, I guess. And but it supports the fight in Massachusetts, which makes it even better. This is a Women for Gun Rights editor or founder, Diana Mueller, wrote this insightful op-ed regarding what happened in Maine. So leave that on the table. Here's Tony talking about the next diversity shoot.
Tony Simon from the Second is for Everyone podcast. Is for everyone. Diversity shoot, and pound for pound, the largest gun bunny in America. We have a diversity shoot coming up Thursday at the Union Hill Gun Club, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
That's this Thursday.
The link is going to be in my bio on Instagram, and it's going to be on Facebook. When you go to Simon Says Train or Second is for Everyone, or even Tony Simon.
Whoa, I did that wrong. So go back to Instagram, hopefully, and now I'll paste this. Boy, I did not paste these things. Very good. Okay. So if you want to help Tony out, link to that, spread it around. Come on. All right, I got to figure out how to get back to my place as fast as possible. Let's hear what Toby's saying while we're waiting for me.
Let's see, Mass Live, and it was sent along by Representative Stephen Exaros, who was one of the voices of reason in opposition to Bill HD 4420, which is now H4139. So this is an article by John Mysick, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And it says the state Senate's version of a much anticipated gun violence reduction bill won't make its debut until January, even as the chamber's
holy crap, I got a lot of stuff left.
The true sense.
We're going to be corking all over Toby, I guess, because I got a couple more things that are worth paying attention to here. So thanks for sticking with us, but you don't need to. You could go watch Toby live and watch this later. I don't really care. I'm making this for the podcast, but I do appreciate the people sticking with us live. Feel free to ask questions. Let's keep going. So that was Tony's post that I glitched out of a minute ago. And then we get to this is super cool. So this is a channel I follow in England, I think. I don't hate England. I just don't like metric. But this is some channel, I think, in England. This is a shit ton of rocks, right? After visiting the Norfolk quarries, spending a few days turning flint nodules into 1,000 blades. This is 10-hour days. He took these giant rocks napped them down into these. So these are eventually going to be flints for flintlocks. But man, I can't even imagine. That's a lot of work. 10-hour days manufacturing these things. All right, this is from a channel that's pretty good. It says, the man you're looking at is second. I'm not going to be able to say this one very easily, so I'm going to try. The man you're looking at is Second Lieutenant Billy Walkabout, a Cherokee of the Blue Holly Clan. Walkabout served as an Army Ranger in Vietnam, Company F, 58th Infantry, 101st. Walkabout, then specialist of, whatever that means, specialist, distinguished himself on November 68 during a long-range reconnaissance patrol south of Hue. After successfully ambushing an enemy squad on a jungle trail, the friendly patrol radioed for immediate helicopter extraction. When the extraction helicopters arrived and the lead man began moving towards the pickup zone, he was seriously wounded by automatic fire. Sergeant Walkabout quickly rose to his feet and delivered steadily suppressive fire on the attackers. All right, I'm not going to say it. Go read this. It's worth reading. When people do awesome stuff, it's inspiring. So read that. Let's see. This one is from Gun Policy, playing around on Halloween. To a cop saying people need to stop thinking they can outsource their safety to the government. There will soon be a time where calls for help may go unanswered. You are your own first responder, whatever. So I don't know why I posted that one. That's another, my guns, my property. Trying to make people who don't value their own lives value their lives is a very difficult thing to expect. Like that's your lack of reasonableness. You can't expect somebody who does not care about their own life to care about their own life. You can't make that happen. So telling them that you care doesn't change their opinion of anything. It just makes them think you're doubling down on your opinion. FYI, you don't know. So this one was pretty awesome from Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. It says, please check your children's candy tonight. Found an M4A3 Sherman tank in this box of candy. And they crammed a box of candy down to Sherman tank. Pretty good. Another one from spreading the word about that diversity shoot that he doesn't get enough coverage on. Los Angeles Police Museum had a family day where they had, I can't play this because it's playing the Ghostbusters theme, but they had the Ghostbusters thing show up, a bunch of stuff for the kids to play with. Looks like they had some rescue stuff happening, a bunch of people having fun, people digging it. And so this was some place, and the Los Angeles Police Museum showed up there, bringing some of their cool cars and some of their people and whatnot. And yeah, just think that's neat. Seeing the museum be part of the history of, because police are a big part of the history of LA. So, seeing them there, being part of all that, it's pretty cool. Forged of Freedom, or Forged, the Forge of Freedom. Gun control is rooted in the prohibition and the war on drugs, and they make some great points.
Fighting people for the possession of certain types of arms. And you, of course,
I don't think we use enough of this angle that prohibition didn't work. Why do you think prohibition on guns will work? Prohibition didn't work on alcohol. Prohibition didn't work on drugs. Why is prohibition going to work on guns? And then let them answer that. Let them answer that. They take things for granted, and one of them is that we don't challenge them on their dumbass assumptions. So they don't say that in this video. They say it more eloquently. This is Pets for Vets and some cat in Catland. The vacuum and the squirt bottle are the ghouls. Pretty funny. Hey, guess what? I don't know why I keep posting that shirt. I guess I want one of them shirts. Crump, his new book is out today. Came out today. So if you're a capitalist, you are interested in helping somebody out who's interested in getting a word out about gun inventors. It's I forget what he said. He's a pretty long book, it sounded like. But 20 firearms inventors and their life stories. I grabbed a paperback edition for $20. I got it a little bit cheaper because I had some Amazon credits. Faster is one of the good organizations out there that's actually creating a curriculum for school facilities, administrators and teachers and the people that work at a school to deal with emergencies of all types, including the very infrequent murderers. But it's a reaction that's positive and useful to the hype that the antis are trying to keep stirred up. That that somehow whatever. So anyway, it's a challenge to that. It hardens schools in a way that makes schools just more capable for an emergency. Great organization. DJ's dropping links. Thanks for that. And then we're getting close to the end here. Colin Noir talking about the gun-free zones. It's probably worth listening to this one if you get the chance. He often brings up good versions of or good positions, points of view on the issues, and I think he has a pretty good one on that. It's a little bit my rights, my property, but hopefully he's getting it across to a new group of shooters who are going to have ability to get it out to new audiences, new groups, younger groups. All right, so here's what Marines do to waste your money. This is tax money. Do you think this Marine bought this stuff, or do you think you bought this stuff? These aren't regular ball ammo either. That's Rufus. Every other one's a tracer, and then there's a Rufus in there. That's 9 yards when they say the whole 9 yards. That's how long it takes to shoot 9 yards of 50 BMGs, just so you know. That's what Marines get paid to do. You pay them to do that with your tax money. Just saying. Given that possession of a firearm for a lawful purpose, which, oh my goodness, I'm not going to try to read this. This is Stephen Holbrook. He's a researcher and a writer. And that's what you get from a researcher and a writer. A bunch of words. Trying to copyright me again, but Tony also, in addition to doing the diversity shoots, he's a host on quite a few podcasts, and most of the podcasts he's on are I think I'm the lightest of all of his podcasts he's on our podcast. We're in the top 10% of podcasts. The other podcasts that Tony's on are in the top 5 and 2% of all podcasts on the internet. So Tony's getting out there. He just doesn't have he doesn't exclusively stay on his own podcast. He's a member of many podcasts. Girl in a Gun talking or on the road in Treasure Coast, Florida chapter. Members attended a Dan whatever book signing and invited ladies to come shoot with the Girl in a Gun. So we just saw something where Virginia was saying that people aren't being people aren't out there, that the organizations aren't showing up at events. Well, here's a Girl in a Gun club showing up at a book signing. A Girl in a Gun club. So it's Robin Sandoval's organization, where is a mom and as a gun owner who is a female who doesn't want the moms against speaking for her. Got a bunch of ladies together who encourage each other to enjoy the sports, everything that's associated with the guns. 700 something ladies show up every year for up training and skill building, and that's created probably the best organization we've got on the planet right now, as far as being an advocate for gun understanding. And this is an indication of that. 3 members showing up at a book signing to challenge the narratives and to support and to offer some their insight to that. Hey, there's us. There's these ladies out here who work together to shoot, and here, meet us at a book signing. Epic. Thank you for doing that work. Then you get Second Amendment guns and accessories. This is one of the gun shops that we follow. I just thought this was a cool turkey picture. Turkey with a, I guess it's a 1022. I don't really know. I'm hoping it's on 9mm. Combat Story a minute ago was posting their behind the scenes. Here's another behind the scenes. Just neat to see them setting up to do in studio hosting. And then NSSF and National Wild Turkey Foundation announced a cooperative effort to promote firearm safety and secure firearm storage. So what? Secure firearm storage for turkey guns via SF's child safe for a lot of things. I don't think and act that way. Like we long time ago, we're good at educating people. We shouldn't be paying each other money to educate people. We could be paying each other money to educate the other side. But that's my opinion. This is one of the gun shops that are the gun shop that's one of the gun shops, I guess, that supports the Arizona rally here in Arizona each year. MMP Guns, MMP, like two M's and a P. Mike Papa, and doing a 1 minute review of a new SCCY. SCCY. They probably don't like it when you call them SCCY. So then we got the National Cowboy Museum. This is, well, it's a museum in Oklahoma City, and they got cowboys. And this is talking about in 2015, the research team for the movie called Killers of the Flower Moon showed up and asked the Dickinson Research Center at the museum to have some resources on life in Oklahoma back in the day, mostly for costumes and that kind of thing. So anyway, it's interesting. I don't know if you've watched the movie Killers of the Flower Moon. Super boring. I mean, I guess it's okay, but it's not. It's super boring, and it's about half woke, so it's hard to know if it's even real. It's so fake, but it's interesting. You don't see very many movies written about relationships with Indians and non-Indians. It's kind of a love story movie or whatever, like a romance movie or whatever. Then we get NRA already promoting the Great American Outdoor Show way before SHOT Show is even kicking off. Hardly. You got NRA getting ready for the Pennsylvania Great American Outdoor Show. This might be the first time this might be the earliest I've seen them promote it. I wonder what that's all about. Either they're super confident and they're letting everybody know, or they're super desperate and they're letting everybody know. But I think it's one of the two. Getting copyrighted again. So Armed Atlas is going to have Mahjong on Sunday? Or did that already happen? No, that's Sunday. So that one's coming up next Sunday. I think it's just going to be on the YouTube, or maybe it's you got to pay to be the locals. Let's see, Guns for Everyone's 2 pictures, 1 year apart. This one is the first course he did in Guadalajara, and the other is the weekend we taught in Mexico. So, I guess he's saying like this is the first course a year ago, just a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 people. And this one the new one has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 people. So they're inside. But anyway, it's interesting. I don't see very many advocates who speak Spanish, let alone advocates that will go to Mexico, let alone will go to Mexico to teach consistently. So it's interesting to see the evolution of our community. And then last, we'll end it with the silver medal medalist, Sergeant Tim Sherry, showing off his silver medal in men's small bore on his way to Paris. So the Paris 24 is the next Olympics, and we're going to have shooters at that Olympics, ideally. And right now they're at these other events, shooting and getting qualified. I don't really know how the Olympics work, but I know that that's leading up to it. So that's a little bit of what we've seen on Instagram this week that has to do with gun-related things, but more importantly, the Second Amendment, and then I guess adjacent things. A little bit of bitching, a little bit of showing support and appreciation for our community. We got a lot of stuff out there. Don't be focused in on the little pieces here and there, especially the big giant ones that get paid to make the most noise. Those are usually the least effective and most useless out of all of everything we got going. So I'm going to recommend that you head over and check out Cape Gunworks. Toby does the Rapid Fire Radio show here. It's in progress right now as we speak. And thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with a flashback, and then on Friday with the look back at the week. And then Saturday we'll be hanging out with Tony and Clover. So thanks everybody for joining us live. I'm going to go take a quick look and see if any questions came up that I'm forgetting about. Looks like DJ deleted everything. I refuse to watch robots write for me. I refuse to let robots write for me. Oh, we were talking about robots and spelling. Just spell wrong and YouTube posts the misspellings. Yeah, I sometimes spell wrong too. Did my last two get deleted on purpose? I'm not deleting anything. I might have to have Travis pop over. Did Travis say it's his last week? He's done with the show? And then DJ's got some links here for the Capitol switchboard. Always a good idea to call your representatives. If they don't know your name, then are you a constituent? I mean, yes, but they can know your name. All you got to do is call them a few times. So they also have a website, and you can get to your senators, your reps, and you're allowed to call other representatives because you have an interest in what's going on in the rest of the country. With that, we'll say thanks everybody for joining us, and head over to Cape Gunworks. We'll see you tomorrow.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.